Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into your Advanced Performance Management class. I hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to start with our next topics where we left in the last class. Let's have a quick look at the topics we covered in the last class so you can have a clear idea about those topics. We started with section A of the syllabus, that is strategic planning and control. And this is the way you should start your advanced performance management study as well. Start from section A and then follow topic by topic instead of picking and choosing any topic from the rest of the syllabus. That I don't recommend. Okay, the reason is very simple. Such as in chapter 1, you will be learning about the basics of strategic management and advanced performance management. Okay, for example, you need to learn about the importance of strategic planning and control. You need to learn about performance hierarchy. You need to learn about critical success factors and KPIs. You need to learn about benchmarking. So in case if you don't understand very well these topics and move on to other topics, for example, you move on to information system, or you move on to transfer pricing, like technical topics, or you start with quality management, or you start with section D, such as performance measurement tools and models, that would be a bit difficult for you to understand and grasp things. So it's important to start from section A, like we are following this pattern. Okay. All right. So in the last class, we have learned about strategic planning and control. What is strategic planning and control? I have a very quick get through because there are few new students in the class. Basically, strategic planning is about the long-term planning of the organization, where the management plans for the next 5 years or the next 10 years. They set direction of the organization. They set strategy of the organization. They set destination for the organization. They set direction of the organization, where we will be after 5 years or after 10 years. And that is very important, to have a vision, to have a mission in the life of the organization. Okay, because vision and mission inspires. Vision and mission guides everyone within the organization and outside the organization. Mission and vision gives purpose. Mission and vision helps in decision making. Okay, so there are so many benefits of having a clear mission in the life of the organization. Okay, so this is all about the strategic planning. Okay, and strategic planning. So strategic plans are very important. Okay, where the management set future direction. And another aspect of the strategic plan is that strategic plan covers the whole organization, not just one department or one factory or one unit or one subsidiary. No, strategic plan cover the whole organization. Whole organization mean if there are 10 companies in the group, so strategic plan would be covering the whole group, all companies. So this is the story of planning. Now, it is also important to have controls. This is the area that is oftenly tested at advanced performance management. So, my dear, you should be clear about this, that plan and control are having equal importance. Okay, merely focus on planning and lack of control, that would little help, because controls, what is the benefits of controls, what is the purpose of controls? I hope you understand that controls are required to be in place to ensure we are moving on towards our plans. So basically, controls help the management to ensure, to monitor, to check, are we in the right direction? Are we on the way to achieve our strategic plans? So controls are also equally important as just we are talking about planning. So I hope that you have got the idea of importance of plan and control. Okay, in here I have included few strategic plans from the big companies in the world, because there is these days everyone is talking about sustainability, and everyone is talking about ESG and climate change and etc., etc., and every business is trying to transform. So my I have included all that, okay, to give you some idea about where the business world is heading to. Then strategic management accounting. Strategic management accounting. You have studied earlier about management accounting, but what is strategic management accounting? Strategic management accounting is something bigger, something broad, okay, and it has different focus. All right, for example, strategic management accounting has focus on external. What is external? Outside the organization. You can think of the pestle factors. It helps in achieving competitive advantage. Now that is very, very important, very, very important in today's world, to achieve competitive advantage. So strategic management can help an organization to achieve competitive advantage. Determine customers behaviors, customers analysis, customer sentiments, customer likes, dislikes, why customers are purchasing our products. This is also part of the external orientation. Future orientation. Strategic management accounting can also help the organization to look into the future of the organization and transform and update and reinvent itself. Yes, I can write word here, reinvent the organization. Strategic management can help to reinvent the organization business model. Business model. We are talking about business model. That's a very interesting discussion. Reinventing the business model and the role of the accounting, or the role of the management accounting. Okay, how management accountants can help the organization to review its strategy, to review its existing business model, to review its existing portfolio of the products, to review its existing portfolio of markets, to review its customers, to review its stakeholders, and then redefine, reinvent, redevelop, restructure for the future of the organization. That is very interesting. Reinvent the organization business model and the role of the accounting. So that is the reason why I am passionate about this subject and strategic management accounting, and why I encourage and I am so much enthusiastic about this subject, because I encourage my students, don't just think on the little or narrow scope of accounting. Okay, accounting has transformed. Accounting needs are changing. Okay, organization needs are changing. accounting needs are changing. So you also need to prepare yourself for this new world, new modern business economy. You also need to update your skills, your knowledge, your competencies. Organizations need more of input from yourself. More input is expected from accountants. Understand? Okay, so these are the aspects, features of strategic management accounting. Then another discussion that is needed at advanced performance management is about significance of planning and controlling activities. Yes, if we look into the past papers, there are questions on this topic. Advanced performance management questions are there on planning and controlling activities. So you should know, I already have told you that the management need to have a balance between planning and controlling activities and planning and controlling measures as well. Keep a balance between planning and control measures. What is this? What is this? Means, okay, I make it simple for you that the set of KPIs or set of performance measures should include measures for planning and for control. What is planning measures? Planning measures are future measures. Okay, I make it more simple for you. When we talk about planning measures or planning KPIs, these are future oriented. These are future oriented. For example, we set a planning measure such as market share. We set a target for market share that if current market share is 10%, we want it to be at 15%. We set revenue growth. For example, if current revenue growth is, let's say 5%, we set it at 7%. Okay, so these are considered as the future measures. Control measures are more focused on current situation, current operations. So when we talk about control measures, we normally talk about, for example, cost and profitability. These more focus on cost and profitability. By the way, if you want more planning measures or you are interested in planning measures or planning KPIs, okay, I can write more here because planning measures are future focused. So you can include planning measures such as the innovation, research, and development. This is a planning measure. This is a future focused measure. Similarly, one more you can say, because these days there is a lot of focus on skills. There is a lot of focus on knowledge. Okay, so we can say like skills, training. This is also a future activity. This is also a planning activity. This is a planning activity. Okay, so I hope now you are very much clear that if next time you are asked to explain what are planning and control activities, you know that planning activities are future focused activities. For example, innovation, research and development, skills development, trainings, or marketing, or promotion, or branding, or let's say, you can say stakeholder management, quality management, corporate social responsibility, sustainability management. All these are planning. And if you ask someone control activities, you can say these are more about current operations and this more focus on the cost and profitability. So these are basically control measures are short-term measures. Okay, another point I am adding in your knowledge. Control measures are short-term focused. Now tell me, are you clear now? Are you clear the difference between planning and control activities? Are you clear now? If next time someone asks you or there is a question on differentiate between planning and control activities or planning and control KPIs or planning and control measures or planning and control information system, you have got the base knowledge. You have got the base knowledge. Okay, guys, are you very well clear? Any question? Any question? Okay. Next, performance hierarchy. Performance hierarchy is also an important area in advanced performance management because it is regularly tested, So although we already have covered this, but just I'm going to quick revise. Performance hierarchy start with mission or vision from the top of the organization. So first of all, when we talk about performance hierarchy, we start from mission or vision. Then it is followed by corporate objectives of the organization. Corporate objectives basically also called strategic objectives, and strategic objectives or corporate objectives are meant for or set to achieve vision and mission of the organization. Okay, once corporate objectives are clear, then we need a strategy, okay, that will help us to achieve corporate objectives. So strategy, corporate strategy. Once corporate strategy is done, now every strategy depends upon a certain set of critical success factors. What I said, every strategy depends upon certain set of critical success factors. Clear? Not clear? I'm repeating. Every strategy depends upon a set of a number of critical success factors. Why? Because critical success factors are the factors that ensure critical success factors are the factors that must be performed well. Critical success factors are the areas where organization must perform well in order to successfully achieve the strategy and corporate objectives. So every strategy depends upon certain critical success factors. All right. Now, we need to measure critical success factors. For example, if quality is a critical success factor for a business, for any organization, let's say, for example, BMW. Okay, if quality is a critical success factor for BMW or Jaguar, okay, if this is the critical success factor, then they also need to measure it. They need to measure. Why? Because why we need measures? Because what gets measured gets done. And this statement is part of advanced performance management syllabus as well. Okay, what gets measured gets done. Understand? So every critical success factor need to be measured. And for that reason, we need KPIs. We need KPIs. So KPIs basically are performance measures, okay, that are used to measure in the critical success factor areas. Okay, all right. So this is mission, vision, strategy, critical success factors, KPIs, and then operational level measures. It is equally important. Now, here we are going to discuss alignment. This is called alignment. Alignment. There will be a lot of discussion in the alignment area in advanced performance management. Yes, why alignment is important. This is also called goal congruence. Goal congruence. Goal congruence. A lot of executives, they design very good strategies. A lot of organizations design very well-crafted strategies, but unfortunately, majority means with cautious, I am telling you that almost 60 to 70%, with careful, I am careful, 60 to 70% of very well-designed strategies fail at operations. This is not I am saying, research says, research. Okay, 60 to 70% mean majority of strategies fail. Majority of well-defined strategies, well-crafted strategies fail at the time of implementation, at the implementation phase. If I ask you, why does it happen? Why does it happen? What do you think? Any likely reason is in your mind why 60 to 70% of strategies fail at the time of implementation? I would love to hear from you. Okay, Fayaz, people are reluctant to change, poor way of implementation, too much time taken in planning phase. All right. Any other great idea? Lack of communication, Ramya, yes, that would also be one of the reason. Very good point. Lack of communication. Any other point, Zara? Wrong planning, yes. But we are talking about very well planned sometime may get failed, unrealistic objectives. Alicia, yes, correct. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Very good. Yes, you are right. Okay, you have shared wonderful points and the reasons, likely reasons why majority of well-crafted strategies fail. One of the point that you should also note down is that like strategies fail because those are planned, those are developed without considering the operational realities. Those strategies fail because not considering the realities of operations, because not considering or not aligning with operations. Basically, let me make it more simple. Most of strategies fail because of the poor alignment with operations. So poor alignment, you can discuss a lot of factors and a lot of points on this, because of lack of communication, lack of coordination, lack of resources, lack of skills, lack of knowledge, lack of experiences, culture issues. Culture is also important thing, in the change management. Culture is also very critical. Culture, managerial resistance, managerial behaviors, so many reasons, but above all, one reason: poor alignment. I hope you have got this big idea why a lot of strategies fail at the time of implementation. Okay, so this is our discussion. Critical success factors and KPIs I already have discussed, so I am moving on. Importance of planning and controlling activities I already have discussed with you, and I told you that this is APM favorite topic. APM examiner, APM questions are normally set around these topics. Why? Why these are set? Because a lot of students, basically, they don't put effort to understand these topics. And this is a syllabus topic. This is a syllabus topic. I have included this topic from the syllabus. Okay, because I update my notes, my textbook of advanced performance management, as there is a new changes. Even there is a small change in the wording of the syllabus, I update my notes accordingly. Okay, and many students, they don't pay much attention to these topics. Why? Because they either are unable to understand, or they think that these are very simple and they will be able to tackle in the paper, but that may not be the case. Understand? So you should know the basics. These are the basics of the advanced performance management. Also equally important, align organization critical success factor with employees goals and KPIs. And this is, I already have told you, importance of aligning with operations. Okay, you can read it and enjoy it. Here is one example from the corporate world: linking mission with strategy, Luxottica. So this is a case of the Luxottica. You can go through and understand it. Here are the past paper questions, how these topics were tested. It is very important, okay, because I have put a lot of efforts in integrating past paper questions at the end of each topic. Why? There is a very simple reason and very big reason. To help you understand how these topics were tested in the past papers, what type of questions were set, how questions were designed around these topics. For example, if we look at this March 2018 question, number 1, this question is not available, okay? But we can make some like understanding how this question was designed. Part 1 required an explanation of how to achieve cascaded down of overall objectives through critical success factors to KPIs at the waste management department. Okay, how to achieve overall corporate objectives by cascading it down to the critical success factors and KPIs. Now, apparently this question seems very easy, but when you will start writing on this question, it would definitely not be easy. Why? Because if a student does not have the broader understanding, clear understanding about what are critical success factors, what are KPIs, and why are they important in the overall hierarchy of the organization, how that student would be able to write. That is very simple sense. So first, you need to be very clear about what are critical success factors and KPIs and their importance in the overall hierarchy. Mean, for example, objectives. If there are no critical success factors, how will you ensure you are on point to achieve the objectives? And if there are no KPIs, imagine, how will you ensure you are working on your critical success factors? So everything is connected, everything is aligned with each other. Now, I also have included examiner comments as well. examiner comments. Examiner comments are also very important, by the way, in every paper, because these gives you idea of the mistakes that were made by the previous students. And there is so much learning for you, so much learning if you want to learn, by the way. If you want to learn, because unfortunately, despite all our guidance, many students don't learn. This is really unfortunate. But because you are at the start of the course, so definitely my job is to keep requesting you to understand, to learn. But it is up to you. I cannot force you. Understand? I just can advise you. My role is to guide you and advise you. Implementation is on your side. Understand? Implementation is your side. By the way, if you what type of results you want, you have to decide it, because I will be playing my role, my duty. I will be doing my best in performance delivering on my side, but ultimate implementation will be on your side. How much serious you are, how much discipline you will need to put in your preparation. What word I have used? Discipline. Okay. Discipline in your preparation. Discipline in your preparation. This word will remain now. From the first day, I would request you to have a discipline in your preparation. Plan and control. First, apply these two strategic level concepts to your preparation. Okay? Plan and control. You need a discipline approach. And then you need to also, when you study, you check your results as well. Outcomes, results, you are learning. Results and learning. At the end of each study session, my dear, this is called discipline approach that you need to follow if you seriously want to pass this paper. This paper is not difficult. You already have understood. This is a very interesting paper, but this requires a mindset. Mindset this paper requires. Okay, for example, if we look at the examiner comments, what are the examiner comments about this? This part was poorly done, with many candidates unable to grasp that the aims given in the scenario represented the mission and critical success factors of first, the overall local government, and then critical success factors in response for the department. Cascading down. Government critical success factors and objectives, then departmental objectives. Answers often showed a lack of basic knowledge. I told you you need to learn the basic knowledge. You can see here examiner, not my comment, this is examiner comment. Answers often showed a lack of basic knowledge of what critical success factors and KPIs are. Okay. Many assumed incorrectly that the waste management department aims were their KPIs. This is a fundamental mistake. This is a fundamental mistake to mixing objectives and KPIs. Mean assuming objectives are KPIs. How big blunder is this? How big mistake is this? Further, candidates often suggested new KPIs, which were in fact not KPIs, but targets. So you also be clear, what are KPIs, what are targets? A lot of students make this mistake. They suppose objectives as KPIs. Okay, that should not be the case with you. This confusion of the definition of basic terms used in APM is troubling. You see, examiner comment, it is troubling to the examination team. Finally, many candidates failed to use the detailed information in the scenario to illustrate their answer, and so only scored a few general explanation marks out of 10 available. There is so much for you to learn, so much. Anyway, there are other questions for you I have included just to help you prepare better, understand better. Okay, my dear, benchmarking topic is done in the last class. So you need to go through this. We also started performance management models. Pest analysis is also done in the last class. Porter 5 forces. Is it done or need to cover it today? Already done or need to cover it today? All right, very good, very good. So Porter 5 forces model is also done. But those students who have joined today, just for please understand that these are performance management models. You might have studied these models at your earlier studies. For example, if you have already done the SPL paper, okay, these models are also part of the SPL syllabus. The difference in application, there is difference in application. Please, 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 you should be clear. Difference in application of these models. In the SBL and APM. This is the beauty of these models. At SBL level, these models are used as a part of external, internal, environmental analysis. But whereas at APM level, you need to learn these models from performance management perspective. That's why I have specifically mentioned it here. I have specifically mentioned it here, so you should not have any confusion of about these models. How following models may assist an organization in performance management. Basically, in the syllabus of advanced performance management, this is mentioned like this. In syllabus, APM syllabus, it is mentioned like this, how these models would help in performance management. So you need to learn these models in the context of performance management. That's why when we use pest analysis as a part of performance management model, okay, now the application has changed. When we study pest model in the advanced performance management, we need to identify, okay, what are those factors in the pest environment that would affect performance of the organization. So when we are looking at political factors or economic factors or social factors or technological factors or environmental factors or ecological factors or legal factors, there are changes in these factors. We need to identify how these factors are going to affect the performance of the organization. Okay, and then we will need to suggest performance measures. That is the next point. That is the next point. Once we have identified that how these factors or these variables are going to affect performance of the organization, not strategy. That is the point in difference. At SBL, we use these models. We use these models as at SBL level, we use these models impact on strategy of the organization. That is the beauty. That is the beauty, okay, of both papers, SBL and APM. Impact on strategy of the organization. Here we look at impact on performance of the organization. So application has changed. Application has changed of these models. Okay, performance. So APM question would require you to like APM questions on these models. Okay, either the question would ask you to evaluate how pest factors, yes, pest model name can be used in APM questions. APM question may specify, questions may specify, question would specify the name of the model. And this is not the case at SBL level. Are you aware of this? Are you aware of this, that SBL questions don't specify any model? You know about this? At SBL level, it will be your judgment to choose which model to apply. But at APM level, exam questions can mention you need to use this model or that model. Okay, good afternoon, Ramzawal. No problem. Thank you and welcome. Okay. All right. Next, Porter 5 forces model. Porter 5 forces model is also a performance management, also a model for performance management. So there are 5 forces, and with the help of the 5 forces, we try to analyze industry. Porter 5 forces model is used for industry analysis, industry analysis. So how, basically in this model, we need to learn how 5 forces, changes in 5 forces, would affect performance of the organization. Okay, for example, threat of new entrants, if there is a change in the threat of new entrants, or there is a threat of substitutes, there is a change, or bargaining power of supplier and customers is changing, or rivalry among existing companies is changing, how all these factors would affect performance. Okay, so in APM questions, APM question would require you either evaluate existing set of KPIs or suggest or recommend new measures or KPIs for each of the competitive force, okay, to monitor and manage performance. Okay, so this is how these models can be tested. These models can be tested. So here is a guideline for you. Suggested measures or drivers of various competitive forces. This is the beauty of this paper, that how Porter 5 forces model application has changed. Understand? So here is a guide for you. Okay. For example, if you are going to choose measures or KPIs for each force, for example, you can choose the entry barriers as a measure of performance, but you must be clear that a measure or a KPI should be measurable. You can easily measure that. Understand? Economies of scale, brand loyalty, specialist knowledge, capital requirements, government policies, a switching cost. You can choose any of the KPI from these, but that must be measurable. A KPI must be measurable. Must be measurable. Similarly, under supplier power, you can choose either number of suppliers, size of suppliers, or uniqueness of the product, supplier's ability to substitute, switching cost. You can choose. Buyer's power, similarly, you can choose either number of customers, order size, differences between competitors, buyer's ability to substitute, price sensitivity, information availability, switching cost. Next, threat of substitutes. You can choose threat of substitutes, products, number of substitute products, price performance comparison, product differentiation, switching cost. And then if rivalry among existing firms, you are going to choose a KPI. For example, you can consider number of competitors as a KPI. Number of competitors as a KPI. You can choose quality differences, but this is a subjective measure. Quality differences. How will you measure it? This is subjective, or in other words, this is non-financial. Okay. But anyway, sometimes these measures are also used. Okay, concentration of industry, brand loyalty, exit barriers, switching cost, these would be the KPIs. I hope you are now better understood about how these models could be used at APM. Move on. Here are past paper questions that can help you to understand. Okay, we are going to have a look at SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is also a model for internal external analysis. Okay, let's have a quick look. SWOT analysis is a critical assessment of organization's strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats in order to establish its condition prior to the preparation of any long-term plan and making informed strategic decisions. SWOT analysis helps organization to evaluate the potential strategic options they could pursue and making an important contribution to improve organization performance. That is the point. This is the point. That is the point. This is the point where you need to understand that how to connect with performance. How to connect with performance. If an organization is going to make a decision, that decision will ultimately has its outcomes. And those outcomes mean what are the outcomes for performance. So you need to think like that way. Okay. If organization is going to make options, what will be the impact of those options over performance? Okay, because strategy without measurement is just meaningless. Every strategy must be measured. Every option, every choice we make must be measured. Every option we consider, any choice we make, will have outcomes, need to measure. And why I need to measure? As what gets measured gets done. Next time when I write WGMGD, you should understand it. This means what gets measured gets done. Okay, all right. So this is the story of SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis also may require you question from the past paper to identify KPIs or performance metrics or measures. So you need to be able to do that. Here is a question from the past paper. I strongly recommend to get through this. You already have received notes, so go through these questions as well. Here we go on Boston Consulting Group matrix, also called BCG matrix. At your SPL level, this matrix, you have studied this matrix as a portfolio. At SBL level, this model is used as model for portfolio analysis. But here at APM, it is a model for performance management. Performance management model. Have a quick look, and then we will go into the details of this model. Got it? 5 minutes, 6 minutes we can spend on this model. There is a fundamental need for management to evaluate the existing products and evaluate existing products and services in terms of their market development potential and their potential to generate profit and performance. Generate profit and performance. Boston Consulting Group potential mean we're looking at the potential of the portfolio in terms of their future performance. This is another way to look at this model. Okay, their potential for future performance. The Boston Consulting Group matrix is a useful tool which helps management teams to assess existing and developing products and services in terms of their market potential. Their market potential and their performance and future performance. And future performance. In other words, there is another way to look at the portfolio. Means you can review your current portfolio, to identify, to determine its suitability within your strategic plans. Strategic plans mean future plans, whether it fit or not, whether it is fit or not. The matrix offers an approach to product portfolio planning. It has two controlling aspects, namely relative market share, meaning relative to the competition, and market growth. So there are two dimensions of this model. One is market share, other is market growth. Management must consider each product or service marketed and then position it on the matrix. This should be done for every product manufactured or service provided, and management should then plot the position of competitors, products, and services on the matrix in order to determine relative market share. So here is the Boston Consulting Group matrix. You can see on the one side there are markets, on the other side there are products. So markets can be either mature or growing. Products can also be high market share and it is about market share and market growth. Yes, market growth and market share. So market growth can be low growth or high growth. Low growth mean mature market, and high growth market mean market is growing. Market share on the other side can also be divided into two groups, low market share and high market share. On this basis, the portfolio is divided or analyzed into four categories. There are four categories of the portfolio. So you can see here, there is a star product that is high market share in the high growth market. Then there is a cash cow that is high market share with low growth market. Then there is a dog, a product that is low growth market with low market share. And then there is a question mark, in other name is problem child or question mark, okay, that is operating in a high growth market but with a low market share. So how to manage this portfolio? Now the question is how to manage performance. How to manage performance. Now this is the big question, how to manage performance. So let's start with the star. Stars, listen, APM question, there are so many ways APM question can test your knowledge in this, and that would not be easy. Yes, what I am saying is on the basis of past questions and past papers. So very interesting. And I hope that when we will finish this topic, you will be able to understand it from a different perspective in the context of APM. Okay. Stars are products that have a good market share in a strong and growing market. As product moves into this category, it is commonly known as rising star. While a market is strong and still growing, competition is not yet fully established. Since demand is strong and market saturation and oversupply is not an issue, pricing of such products is relatively unhindered, and therefore these products generate very good margins. At the same time, manufacturing overheads are minimized due to high volumes and good economies of scale. These are great products and worthy of continuing investment for as long as they have the potential to achieve good rates of growth. In circumstances where this potential to no longer exist, these products are likely to fall vertically in the matrix into the cash cow. Yes, stars, if a product is star today, that is expected to be cash cow tomorrow. Okay, so it will change its position. Change its position. Portfolio changes its position over time, and their cash characteristics will change. Shift in position in the matrix will require change in the performance management and measurement style. That is very big thing, very big idea, because your strategy will be changed. Your performance management and performance measurement system will also need to be changed. That is a very big idea I have just shared with you. Okay. So when the star will move into the cash cow in the future, it is therefore vital that a company has rising stars developing from its problem children in order to fill the void left by the fallen stars. That is a big statement, a big learning. That is a big learning. Why big learning? This means that you need to constantly review your portfolio. That is a big learning. You should have your portfolio moving in all positions. That is a big learning, that once your stars have changed their position into cash cow, you have new stars ready. Have you understood this idea? Hello? Have you understood this idea? Are say yes or no? That's why a lot of focus is placed. If we think in the context of skills, in the context of talent, this applies to succession planning. Why succession planning is important? That's why if I can give you the example from the football, for example. Okay, why the big clubs, they invest in the junior teams and kids? Do you know about this? I think this is a more you can easily understand. They invest in their juniors and the kids as well. Okay, why they invest in that? Because they know that footballer player, the life cycle of footballer player. So once a player has reached to its maturity stage, there must be a replacement for that. That is important. That is important. And this also applies to us as well for skills area as well. Okay, skills also have their life cycles. Anyway, let's talk about performance management approach for star, performance management approach for a star. So there are 3 performance management approaches that you need to understand, or styles. So for a star, we recommend that there should be non-accounting style. Non-accounting style mean its performance measures. Please take notes. Please take notes. Suitable performance measures. Suitable performance measures for a star. Please take note. For a star, suitable performance measures can be revenue growth. Revenue growth. Suitable performance measures for a star would be market share. Suitable performance measures for a star would be quality. Focus areas, performance focus areas. Okay, research and development, marketing, branding. So these should be the areas of performance management and measurement for a star. For a star. If you have any question, just note down and let me know. Move on. Question mark or problem child. Question mark or problem child. An organization need to have few question mark products as well. Okay, because they may replace the stars in the future. So it is important to have some question marks. Problem child have a relatively low market share in a high growth market, often due to the fact that they are new products. They are new products, or they are yet to receive recognition by prospective purchasers. In order to realize the full potential of problem children or question marks, management needs to develop new business prudently, okay, need to develop new business prudently and apply sound project management principles if it is to avoid costly disasters. There should be some rationale, there should be some, you can say, goal congruence. Gross profit margins are likely to be high, but overheads are also high, covering the cost of research, development, advertising, market education, low economies of scale. Yes, of course, these will be the focus. These will be the results of a question mark. Okay, question mark. As a result, the development of problem children can be loss-making until the product moves into the rising star category. That is the point where I want you to understand that your problem child can be the future star for your business, for your portfolio, which is by no means assured. This is evidenced by the fact that many problem children products remain as such while others become tomorrow dogs. Yes, it is a possibility to slide into both sides. A problem child can either be the star or be the dog of the future. So what should be the suitable management's approach for a question mark? Question mark approach should be profit conscious style. You need to be consciously invest in the problem child or question mark product. Okay, invest, but with some like outcomes based that ensure you will have the profitability in the future. Then invest in it. Conscious investments. Okay, so what should be the performance measures for a question mark? Still, for a question mark, suitable performance measures can be, by the way, this is where APM question would test your knowledge. Okay, suitable performance measures. APM questions can test your knowledge either from the profit conscious, from the management style perspective, or from performance measures perspective. Suitable performance measures can be revenue growth, market share, research and development, plus profitability as well. Although you may not be very much interested in the high profitability of these products, but at least your board or your management would be interested to at least cover the cost what we are incurring. Cash cow. What is cash cow? Cash cow has a relatively high market share in a low growth market and should generate significant cash flows. This somewhat crude metaphor is based on the idea of milking the returns from a previous investment that established good distribution and market share for the product. So activities to support products in this quadrant should be aimed at maintaining and protecting their existing position together with good cost management rather than aimed at growth. This is the point in the cash cow position, that because in cash cow is a product that little chance for further growth, because cash cow is operating in a mature market. Mature market mean this market has already enjoyed its growth period and now it has reached to its saturation point. So at saturation point of the life cycle, we may have little expectation for the further growth. Means growth have stagnated here, growth have stopped here. So what we need to do, we need to have very effective cost management. We need to have very effective cost strategy and milk maximum profitability and cash. So this is because there's a little likelihood of additional growth. Okay, now very important. In the past paper, there are many questions on this point. What should be the suitable management approach for a cash cow? So for a cash cow, there is a management approach called budget constrained style. Budget constrained style. What is budget constrained style? Means tight budgetary controls. Mean tight budgetary controls. Now, if I ask you to please help me determine suitable performance measures for a cash cow, so what would you suggest? Try it. Try it. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You are in learning stage. So be open for mistakes. What I said, you are in learning stage. Be open for mistakes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes when you are learning. But at the end, there would be little space for mistakes. So mistake and learn is part of the learning process. Alicia, economies of scale. Yes, economies of scale will be focus. Grishma, liquidity will be the focus. Very good point. Satyajit, conserve cash and profits. Exactly, you are on point. Satyajit, Ramzawal, cost control. Exactly, you are on point. Cost controls. Fayaz, new markets. Right now, we are not discussing about new markets, my dear. We are talking about budgetary controls. We are not talking about going into new markets now, about a cash cow. Okay. So very well advised. Your points must be considered here, that what should be the suitable measures for a cash cow. Please take notes, because this will help you develop your learning. So suitable performance measures for a cash cow would be gross profit margin, GP margin. You see, we are not considering now revenue growth. Why are we not considering revenue growth? Revenue growth. Revenue growth. Should we consider it here? Should we consider for a cash cow? Revenue growth. Should we consider? No, we cannot consider. And the reason is because there is little likelihood of revenue growth. Yes, because of low growth and product may be at decline stage. You are correct, Satyajit, or product is at its maturity stage, so there is little growth. So no, revenue growth. GP margin can be your performance measure because you have to have GP margin. Yeah, let's discuss a little bit about GP margin. GP margin tells us about what? GP margin tells us about what? Can anyone please a little bit share your learning here with us? GP margin, what does it explain? And why it is important? Why? Okay, let's a little bit rephrase our question. Rephrase. Why is it important? Let's learn about this. Actually, this is discussion of APM. Okay. Merely suggesting may not be enough. APM requires you justify what you are recommending, justify it. So GP margin gives us idea about cost of production, percentage of gross profit out of sales, minimize cost of sales, maximize profit, any other idea. When you are recommending in APM requires justification of your suggested measure, justify it. Okay, so GP margin basically gives us idea about it, it explains, it helps to determine effectiveness of controls over cost of sales. It gives idea about controls over cost of production. Okay, controls over cost of production. If revenue is, for example, not growing or growing at, for example, 2%, but cost of production is growing at 5, 6, 7%, that is alarming. Okay, means the cost of production is going out of control, leading to lower gross profit. So it's important to have controls over cost. That's why I ask you to discuss it. Okay, and then net profit margin. Net profit margin. Not just net profit margin. This is another point. Why not net profit and why margin? Note it down and let's little bit discuss this point. Why NP margin and why not just NP? Little bit, please share your thoughts. Yes, it is clear. It focuses on operating expenses. True. And it also give idea about, yes, there's a very effective point, Alicia, ability of controlling cost. Very good point. Ability to control, effectiveness, efficiency, productivity. You can use all these words. Okay, productivity, efficiency, and operating cost controls. Operating cost controls. Very good point. But our question is why we use NP margin and not just net profit. Yes, Ramzawal, because it basically compares with the sales. Okay, it is a percentage of sales. So it gives some more clear idea about whether our NP margin is increasing or decreasing with comparison to sales revenue. That is point. And this would give us more clear idea. We can benchmark it basically. Yes, that is another point. We can benchmark, easy to benchmark, okay, benchmark easily with previous periods, with previous or other or other organizations. We can benchmark our net profit margin, but net profit itself can't be benchmarked because that is in the currency value. A good point, very good point. Further, we can use more measures for a cash cow. That can be, for example, the cost measures. We can use cost measures. We can use waste and efficiency measures or productivity measures. Productivity measures. Because for a cash cow, we need to have very strong controls on quality, on waste, because we have got experience in the cash cow. We have got economies in the cash cow. So we expect that we are operating at the optimum level. Okay, I hope you have got now a different perspective of the balance scorecard. BCG. Okay, next is the dog. A dog is the one that is operating in the low growth market with low market share. So what we suggest, a suitable management approach for a dog is the budget constraint style, just same like as we have discussed above. That's it. That's it. Okay. Any question? Any question? Okay. Here's the past paper question. Move on. We are on Porter generic strategies. Way to manage and sustain competition. Porter generic strategies you have studied at SBL level. At SBL level, it was a model for achieving and sustaining competitive advantage. Okay, achieving, choosing strategy, it is used as choosing strategy and sustaining competitive advantage. But at APM, its application will be changed. Whatever strategy has been chosen, whatever strategy is chosen, whether that is a cost leader or differentiation or focus, here we are going to discuss performance management. Performance management we are going to discuss here. All right. Okay. So first, have a quick understanding of Porter generic strategies. A firm's relative position within its industry determine whether a firm profitability is above or below the industry average. Yes. Positioning, market positioning or industry positioning determines its profitability. The fundamental basis of above average profitability in the long run is sustainable competitive advantage. Yes, above average profitability. If your business want to have above average, then you need to have sustainable competitive advantage. There are two basic types of competitive advantage a firm can possess. That is either low cost or differentiation. Low cost, these are two main strategies, low cost or differentiation. The two basic types of competitive advantage combines with the scope of activities for which a firm seeks to achieve them, leading to three generic strategies for achieving above average performance in an industry: cost leader, differentiation, and focus. Yes. So the focus strategy has two variants, either cost focus or differentiation focus. Okay, let's talk about cost leader. Cost leader. In cost leadership, a firm sets out to become the low-cost producer in its industry. Low-cost producer in its industry, the source of cost advantage are varied. Sources of cost advantage are varied and depends on the structure of the industry. Structure of the industry mean where that industry, life cycle of industry and structure of industry overall. They may include pursuit of economies of scale, proprietary technology, preferential access to raw materials, and other factors. Mean a lot of factors contribute towards becoming a cost leader. Several factors contribute. Several factors contribute to becoming a cost leader. Okay, for example, few factors would be access to raw materials, access to the components or ingredients, have its own supply chain or control over supply chain, control, have its own logistics, shipping, okay, warehousing, understand, retailing. There are a lot of factors that contribute towards achieving the cost leader. Okay, so a low-cost producer must find and exploit all resources of cost advantage. If a firm can achieve and sustain overall cost leadership, then it will be an above average performer in its industry, provided it can command prices at or near the industry average. Okay, so that would be the advantage for a cost leader, because cost leader has been able to keep its cost low. Okay, so it can earn relatively higher margins than the competitors because of its low cost. That is the main central idea about the cost leadership strategy. Cost leadership, because of its low cost, I can note it down for you. Because of having low cost model or having lowest cost model in the industry, able to earn above average margins. Okay, because of the cost advantage, because of cost advantage. Okay, and we can see that many retailers follow this. For example, like McDonald's, for example, how McDonald's is able to sell all its like products almost at similar prices all across the globe. How McDonald's is able to achieve all this? Because of its control over its cost. Similarly, there are other companies such as in UK, for example, like Tesco is the example, Tesco, or like in USA, you might have heard about the Walmart, okay, or the world largest furniture maker like IKEA, for example, IKEA, or there are so many other brands such as in fashion, for example, H&M or Zara. How are they able to uh, like lead, and how they achieve the competitive advantage? Because of their controls over cost. So learning for us in the context, there is no question on this topic in APM so far, no question so far in APM. No question. But we can little bit estimate or expect how the question can be tested if this topic is put in the spotlight. Okay, so the APM questions would be set around like strategy, around a business following a particular strategy. For example, that can be either cost leader or differentiation, and then ask or requires you this is my own like you can say projections about this topic, okay, may requires you number one, evaluate its performance measures, performance report. Yes, this question most likely performance report. Number two way, evaluate its set of critical success factors and KPIs. Yes, that would be tested. Set of critical success factors and KPIs. My dear, you must know that the set of critical success factors and KPIs for a cost leader and differentiation will be different. Cost leader and differentiation will be different. For example, if I ask you that Toyota and BMW or Mercedes, do you think both should have the similar critical success factors and KPIs? Of course, no. Of course, no, because they have different strategies. Toyota has more like cost leader. Toyota has more like cost leader, and BMW is more like differentiation strategy. So their critical success factors and KPIs will be, of course, different. Okay. Similarly, you can also apply it to the other the fashion retailers as well. For example, Zara or H&M, they are following this cost leader, whereas other brands, okay, such as you can talk about, for example, I'm not saying about Prada or Dolce & Gabbana or Chanel, any differentiation focused brand, okay, that would be following differentiation, so their KPI will be different. Okay, so evaluator's performance report, that's a typical question. Evaluate set of critical success factors and KPIs, yes. Another area that examiner can test in the context of the strategy, most likely is the uh, like business process re-engineering, introduction of BPR, business process re-engineering, and how it would affect the performance of the strategy. And other most likely area would be about information system requirement. Information system requirement for the cost leader or for the differentiation. And yes, and other most likely area would be about quality management. Quality management. Quality management techniques such as just in time or TQM or Kaizen or target costing, how these would help the company, okay, how would they help, okay. So these are the most likely APM topics that can be set around this model generic strategies. Are you clear? Are you clear? Any question? Do you have any question? Okay, perfect. So you are now clear the style of questions, the themes of question around these topics. Okay, move on. So this topic is clear now. Next topic, balanced scorecard as performance management model. The very beautiful, the amazing this topic of balanced scorecard has two application in this paper. One is as a performance management model, other is as a performance measurement model. So now we will be covering performance management, but before that we are going for a few minutes break, and after break we will be starting balanced scorecard, and then we will be starting budgeting approaches and performance controls, completing all budgeting topics after break time. Okay, see you after break of 5-6 minutes. Welcome back. We are starting now Balanced Scorecard as Performance Management Model. Previously, we have discussed different models of performance management, and you have learned the different application of those models, and now we are starting Balanced Scorecard. Balanced Scorecard is amazing model. I would say that discussion of performance management and measurement would remain incomplete without considering Balanced Scorecard as part of discussion. Okay, and this model is like regularly discussed and tested at APM as well. Let's start it. Balanced Scorecard has evolved into holistic, all-encompassing performance management and measurement tool. Organizations now use Balanced Scorecard to communicate what they are trying to accomplish, mean their objectives and their strategy. Communicate what they are trying to accomplish means their strategy and objectives. Define strategic targets and then measure and monitor progress towards them. They use Balanced Scorecard. Prioritize the implementation of products, services, and projects. Ensure that all employees are aligned in their day-to-day activities and values. So these and the many other like benefits of using a Balanced Scorecard. By focusing on these four distinct areas, Balanced Scorecard reinforce good behavior in each and encourage growth and learning according to company objectives. If objectives are not being met, then businesses can identify and then address factors which hinder performance. Balanced Scorecard or BSC are used extensively in business, industry, government, and not-for-profit settings worldwide. Many of the largest companies in the US, Europe, Asia are using this comprehensive system of performance management and measurement, and for a good reason. A recent study by Bain and Co. discovered that it was the fifth most widely used management tool globally. Harvard Business Review editors also call the BSC system one of the most influential ideas of the past 75 years. So, managing performance with Balanced Scorecard, this is our discussion. Managing performance with the Balanced Scorecard, we are talking about performance management. There are four essential activities which have to be executed rigorously if the implementation of the Balanced Scorecard is to succeed. There are four activities which should be followed in order to make the Balanced Scorecard implementation success story. Number one is make the strategy explicit. Everyone within the organization should know the strategy of the organization. For example, let me make it simple for you. If strategy is cost leader, everyone within the organization should be clear what is the strategy of our organization. So then they will be aligned with the strategy if everyone is clear. So clarity and communication are the important things. Make strategy explicit. Explicit mean clarity, strategy should be clear, and communication. Number two is choose the measures. Once strategy is clear, once strategy is designed, once strategy is now clear to everyone, now you need to choose measures that support the strategy. Your measures must support strategy. Your measures should be aligned with strategy of the organization. I am repeating, your measures should align with strategy of the organization. I can give you a simple example. For example, a restaurant that opens, say, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. For example, this is the strategy of the restaurant that we will be opening 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now changes, now changes strategy, changes strategy, and it decide that now we will be open till 4 a.m. So we are opening at 10 a.m. and we will be closing at 4 a.m. I mean 22 to 4 a.m. Oh, sorry, 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Okay, change in strategy. They must have to choose new measures in order to measure success of the strategy, in order to measure success of strategy, the business need to have new measures in place. If they already have, they need to choose new measures in place. So this is the point here. Choose the measures. These should be aligned with the strategy, and the relationship between the measures should be understood. I hope you are clear. Those measures not only support each other, but support strategy. These are the 2 points I am explaining to you. Those measures should not only support each other, but also support strategy. So there are 2 support required. 2 supports are required. 2 supports. They support each other. When choosing measures, here balance scorecard again help. Balance scorecard again help here in choosing measures. So according to balance scorecard, there should be the 4 hierarchy of measures. What should be the hierarchy of measures? Balance scorecard can help us. There should be 4 perspectives can help and can guide us in choosing right measures. So according to balance scorecard, there should be financial measures, there should be customer focused measures, there should be internal business measures, and there should be learning and growth measures. So again, balance scorecard can helping us to choose what type of measures we need to have. So there are 4 types of measures. These are called 4 perspectives under the balance scorecard. All right. Okay, I hope you are clear. So these 4 perspectives or the 4 categories of measures should support each other and then support strategy of the organization. Next, define and refine. So once measures are selected, then you need to define and refine. Management reporting systems need to be set to track and report the measures regularly. What this means that now, because you have already selected the measures at stage number 2, now you start measuring performance and start reporting performance. Okay, so measure and report. Here, what you need to do, measure and report now. All right. And when you are reporting and measuring, you also need to keep refining those measures, making measures more better and better. And step number 4, deal with people. People in charge, mean management, should be properly managed, and reward should be linked to scorecard measures. What does this mean? Deal with people mean people motivation, rewards, plus motivation. People will only be happy, people will only own those measures. How will they ensure people own the measures? How will they own the measures? when they are happy, when they are satisfied, when they are motivated. So this can be achieved with rewards. So align with people expectations, align with people expectations. I hope you are clear the four steps where balance scorecard can help to manage performance of the organization. Okay, I hope you are clear. We are moving on. Here is all the details of the four steps we have discussed. Make the strategy explicit, choose the measures, define and refine, deal with people. Here are the four perspectives. The balanced scorecard through performance is measured. Through measures are selected. How to select measures. How to select measures. The four perspectives of the balanced scorecard include financial, customer, business process, and organization capacity or learning and growth. Each has a proven track record of the effectiveness of several decades of use in business, and each is outlined briefly below. Financial perspective. For many businesses, the financial perspective is concerned with meeting shareholder expectations and making a profit. This perspective is often the easiest to define and refine, but it is nonetheless a major focus of any balanced scorecard. If the business is not making money, then it hints it at problems in other perspectives which must be addressed. That is very central point. Because basically financial perspective focuses on investors or shareholders expectation and their confidence, their trust, their satisfaction. So they are expecting profitability. They expect profitability. What they expect? They expect profitability and growth of the business. Okay, shareholders expect profitability and growth. But what if business is not growing? If business is not growing nor making profit, so then there must be something wrong. There must be something wrong within the business. Okay, so other measures can help to identify reasons. Other measures can help to identify reasons. So let's explore those reasons. Customer perspective. This focuses on customer perspective, focuses on customer satisfaction. Focuses on customer satisfaction. The focus of the customer perspective is the implementation of measures directly related to customer satisfaction. Satisfaction can be gauged when analyzing customer feedback on a business products and services around metrics such as quality, price, and availability. Now, third perspective is internal processes or internal business perspective or internal business processes. What is this? It focuses on how to satisfy customers. This focuses on how to satisfy customers by improving internal operations and processes. Internal operations and processes such as quality and delivery. Quality and delivery and customer service. Quality, delivery, and customer service. So third area focuses on how to satisfy customers. Now, the fourth focuses on how to improve the way. Today you are learning balance scorecard. I can tell you, you may have studied it earlier, but you may not have studied it like this way as you are learning it today. How to improve internal business processes. So here we look at what are the ways we can improve business processes. So how we can improve business processes? This can be achieved through, for example, innovation. We are developing new products. We are including technology. We are updating our business processes. We are offering a new way of delivering service. We are offering new options. We are offering new choices to our customers to make orders. We are making better experience. We are including more engagement of our customers. There are so many things we can discuss here. So innovation, skills. So here you need to focus on technology. You need to focus on customer experience. How will you do it? You will do it with the help of skills plus knowledge. You will focus on your employee motivation. Very, very important. Employee trainings, development, etc. So with these ways, you can improve your business processes. And when your business processes are doing very well, your customers are happy. And when your customers are happy, money will be happy with you. Okay. So this is the way. If we put order or hierarchy of measures under balanced scorecard, if we put it structure, balanced scorecard structure of measures, very interesting way, very interesting. Okay, there are four perspectives. All right. So on the top, there is financial, then there is customer, then there is internal business processes, and then there is learning and growth. So where should we start then? Should we start from top down or bottom up? What do you think? After all that learning we have discussed, should it be top down or bottom up? Top down or bottom up? Where should it start from? It should start from learning and growth. It should start from learning and growth. When there is learning and growth, okay, learning and growth is aimed at improving business processes with new knowledge, new skills, You are improving business processes. When your internal business processes are effective and efficient, definitely your customer will be happy. And when your customer is happy, your shareholders will be happy, because customer will be bringing more business. Customer will be bringing more growth. Customer will be purchasing more. They will become loyal customers. They will become repeated customers, and they will be happy with your business. So your shareholders will be happy. This is how you need to look at the balanced scorecard. I hope you have enjoyed this different view of the balanced scorecard. And here is a strategy map. This is extra reading, not part of APM, but just I have included it for your extra learning, for you to have a different look, mean how measures interact with each other. Basically, strategy map idea was also developed by Michael Porter. No, sorry, Kaplan and balanced scorecard was, yeah, Kaplan and Norton, who developed balanced scorecard. They also developed this idea of strategy map, that how measures interact with each other, interact and support each other. So they develop strategy map. So you can see in strategy maps that from flowing from the bottom, okay, how it is moving up. This is extra reading, not part of APM, just to enhance your and enrich your learning. All right, hope you are clear on this one, and we are moving next. Our topic number 6, budgeting approaches and performance controls. Before I start this topic, I would like to have any question from your side. Do you have any question? My dear, do you have any question? Any student has a question? All right, means you are getting everything clear. Then I can suppose you are getting everything clear. But in case if there is a question, please note it down and feel free to ask me. I like to take questions from my students. Okay, and I always appreciate, because I believe this is the way to learn more. Understand? Okay, budgeting approaches. So first of all, let me make it clear about this topic, budgeting approaches and budgeting systems. Application of this topic at APM level is different than your previous studies, because at this paper, at this level, you are supposed to guide or advise. You are supposed to work as performance management consultant or management accountant, and you are advised to board about suitable budgeting system for the organization. In other words, you have to discuss strategic level thoughts, not operational level. Okay, so for that reason, there is little focus on defining a budget or simple advantage, disadvantage, but more focus on application side of a particular budgeting technique for the organization. So this will be our focus. Let's begin. Performance management and control cycle. What is that performance management and control cycle? So it starts from strategic planning. Okay. This is a cycle, by the way, but start from strategic planning, number one, then business planning, mean more detailed planning, number two, then next it is followed by budgeting, then it is followed by forecasting, then reporting, performance measurement, performance analysis, monitoring individual results, and then offering them rewards. So you can divide it into three broad categories. For example, one is called planning, budgeting, and forecasting. Other is called reporting and performance measurement. And third one is organizational alignment and accountability. So this is called planning and control cycle. This is not part of, by the way, in the syllabus mentioned, but it is for your general learning. And ultimately, how shareholder value, we can link it with the shareholders value. Okay, analysis of various budgeting approaches. Let's begin with incremental budgeting. Incremental budgeting. Incremental budgeting, you might have studied it earlier. What is this budgeting? Simple. Incremental budgeting is the traditional budgeting method whereby budget is prepared by taking current period budget or actual performance as a base with incremental amounts then being added for the new budget period. These incremental amounts will include adjustments for things such as inflation or planned increase in sales prices and cost or expenditures or any planned capex, capital expenditures. Okay, that is called incremental budgeting. So simple incremental budget is a budget where we use current budget or the last period budget as a base and we make incremental changes to that budget. Okay, by taking the percentage, for example, 5% or 7% or 10% to the existing budget and considering inflation or any other changes in the cost, sale prices. That's the simplest way to prepare budget. But my dear, let me tell you that budgeting approach is considered as outdated now. Outdated now. Why it is considered outdated for modern economy? Why incremental budgeting has very little scope for modern economy? Let's discuss it. It has a few advantages, but it has a long list of disadvantages for modern economy, a long list of drawbacks for modern businesses. Modern businesses mean 2023 businesses, virtual, online, and a lot of things. What are advantages for this budgeting approach? It is easy to prepare. Of course, it is easy to prepare. You just pick your last budget or this current budget and make small changes and your Excel sheet is ready for this. It can be flexed to actual levels to provide more meaningful control information. All right, these are advantages, but let's learn in detail about its drawbacks. Please make sure you understand its drawbacks in broader way. Number one, does not take account of alternative options. What is this meaning, alternative option? Can anyone give me some idea about alternative option? What does this mean? What does this mean, alternative options? Does not take account of alternative options because it is using just a single approach that we have to increase it. That's it. It does not consider new way to reduce cost. It does not look at new way to reduce the inefficiencies. It basically it leads to fixed mindset that yes, this is the budget, just add 5% and move on. So fixed mindset does not look for ways of improving performance. Of course, you are just picking and adding. You are not questioning about improving performance is about asking question. It is about asking questions, and you are not asking questions in this budget. Number 3, encourage slack in the budget setting process. What are budgetary slacks? Budgetary slack. Okay, note down. Budgetary slack, please. Definition note down. Budgetary slack is the overestimation of cost and underestimation of revenue deliberately. Overestimation of cost and underestimation of revenue deliberately. That is called budgetary slack. So this budget leads to budgetary slacks. Number 4, the problems associated with incremental budgeting are that it consolidates existing practices into the targets and so tends to stifle innovation. Yes, that is another problem, that it incorporates, it consolidates existing inefficient practices, so leading to damaging the innovation of the organization. As a result, inefficient and uneconomic activities will not be challenged, will not be questioned, will not be challenged, will not be questioned, and opportunity for cost savings may be missed. Yes. Opportunities for cost savings would be missed. The same case is with the sustainable development as well. Same case with sustainable development. Same case with sustainable development. A lot of managers are missing the opportunity to improve their business operations to make more sustainable. Also, managers may deliberately spend up to their budget limits in order to ensure that they get an increment from the highest possible base figure in the next budget. This is a typical common practice in public spendings and public budgeting. A common issue with public, although in private sector organization, this is becoming a less now because private sector organizations are using more and more ERPS, okay, and more centralized information systems and softwares they are using. So they are introducing more tight controls over the budgets and budgetary spendings, but still in the public sector or government sector, unfortunately, this practice is still there, especially in the developing countries. Okay, a common issue with public sector budgeting, where public sector managers, what budgets are allocated to them, they try to spend each penny, they try to spend each rupee and each dollar, because if they will, for example, if they are given 1,000 rupees, for example, or $1,000, and if they have spent 500 or 600 they have spent, and 400 are remained unspent, 400, okay, so those 400 will go back into the public funds, and next time they will be provided on the basis of 600, not 1000. So that's why they will try to spend each dollar and each penny, whatever and wherever they would be spending, without considering the outcomes and without considering the uh, efficiency and effectiveness of those expenses. Next, it may lead to waste of valuable resources. Of course, valuable resources are wasted in this budgeting system, unfortunately. Now, let's talk about where it is suitable. So it is suitable organization where the business is stable, and we know there is no business, there is no market today that is stable. There is no market where that can predict accurately there even 1 month. There is no business, there is no market forecasting, estimation, everything. There is uncertainty. So stable and so historic figures represent a solid base from which to consider small changes. No more historic figures, no more historic figures are relevant today. So this budgeting system has little relevance, or I would say no relevance for modern organization because of their difficulty in prediction, difficulty in forecasting and estimation. If we were studying this budget 30 years back or 20 years back, then it would have been nice to use this budget, but not today. Next budgeting system is called zero-based budgeting. Zero-based budgeting. First, learn what is this budgeting method. Zero-based budgeting is a method of budgeting in which all expenses must be justified for each new period. Justified. Yes, you have to justify your every spending, why you want to spend and what will be the outcome of this spending. So you have to justify that by spending this amount, we will be getting this outcome. So basically, this is more outcome oriented budgeting system. The process of zero-based budgeting starts from a zero base. What does zero base mean? Scratch. This is scratch level. Zero base. Zero base means no consideration of the current budget or no consideration of past budget. You don't have a base. You have to start your planning. You have to start your forecasting from the zero. And every function within the organization is analyzed for its needs and cost. Budgets are then built around what is needed for the upcoming period, regardless of whether each budget is higher or lower than the previous one. No, this does not matter whether it's a higher or lower. What is matter is to justify the spendings. Budgetary spendings. So when we look at its advantage and disadvantages, it has more advantages for the organizations. Let's have a quick look. Number one, it provides a budgeting and planning tool for management that responds to changes in the business environment. Yes, it helps respond changes in the business environment. Requires the organization to look very closely to its cost behavior pattern and so improve understanding of cost behavior pattern. That is very interesting point that it look very closely at the cost behavior pattern. Mean managers are required to pay more attention to how we are incurring cost, because they have to start from the zero. They have to start from the scratch. They have to start from zero base, understand without consideration of the past expenses. For that reason, they have to go and check each bit of the cost. So in this way, They will be better aware of the cost behavior patterns and how we incur cost. That is good idea. That is good point. Understanding of cost behavior pattern, okay, should help identify inefficient and or obsolete processes and thereby also help reduce cost. Yes. How does it happen? Because when managers will go in detail, when they will go in depth, when they are questioning about each dollar spending, so they will be able to identify where resources are being wasted, and when setting the budgets, they will not consider those activities or those processes or those tasks where resources are being wasted. Next, help eliminate unnecessary cost. Yeah, when they will explore the budgeting, they will be able to identify the non-value adding activities and cutting the cost. Non-value adding activities. Number five, result in more efficient allocation of resources in not-for-profit organizations which have a focus on achieving value for money. That is interesting point, not-for-profit organization, because not-for-profit organization already may have resource shortage, constraint on resources. So when they have already constraint on resources, they may not be able to afford the waste of resources. So this method can help them to plan better, budget better. There are some problems. It requires a lot of management time and effort because starting from scratch requires you abandoning your previous and more focus on the future. So you have to go in detail. You have to go into each bit of your planning and budgeting. So it will requires a lot of management time in planning, lot of management time in planning. Next, requires training in the use of ZBB technique because it is technical, so it may require some certain trainings for the staff who may not be updated or who may not have the knowledge for this. Number three can be seen as threatening, particularly for managers whose areas are subjected to ZBB. Yes, threatening mean who will feel threatened because those managers who have never been questioned before, or those managers who have been enjoying with unquestionable resources and funds in the past, and now you ask them, hey, justify your spending. So then they feel threatened. What is this? Okay, may result in resistance. They may resist, of course, because their authority is now being challenged. Their spendings are being challenged now. So they are not accustomed to it. They are not used to this type of culture. And so they will resist and require culture change because ZBB is not just simple technique. It is a complete change in the mindset, I would say. It's not just a budgeting. It is ZBB is not just simple budgeting. It is change in the mindset. So this requires effort. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed and understood zero-based budgeting. Now let's talk about where it is suitable. It is suitable for allocating resources in areas where spending is discretionary spending, such as non-essential, for example, research and development, advertising, marketing, and training. So in other words, it is a more future focused spending, discretionary spending. Also suitable to divisions or departments engaged in project-based working. This is interesting area where work is done in the form of different projects, project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4, where the teams are working in the project. So this method of zero budgeting works best. It is also suitable for public sector organizations such as local authorities, local management, or local municipalities or local authorities. Okay, so that is zero-based budgeting. Next. Any question? Any question? Note it down and ask me. Rolling budgeting. A rolling or continuous budget. It is also called continuous budget. Rolling budgeting or continuous budgeting is budgeting that is continually updated, continuously updated, continuously updated by adding a further accounting period like month or quarter when the earliest accounting period has expired. Its use is particularly beneficial where future cost and or activities cannot be forecast accurately. This budget, we can call this rolling budget, is more a kind of budgeting that focus on shorter periods. Okay, shorter periods such as monthly basis or quarterly basis. Why is this case? Unlike annual budgeting, if I ask you a question about annual budgeting, big question, very important and very relevant to your job as well, your work, your organization as well. Okay, big question why I'm asking. Do you think this annual budgeting still relevant in modern economy? If your answer is no, then what is your logic or reasoning? My question is, do you think annual budgets are still relevant in modern business and economy? What do you think? Are these budgets still relevant? Still relevant. Fayaz, your organization still using this budgeting system? Annual budgeting? Okay. Mean in the industry in which your company or your business is working or operating, there must not be any uncertainty, where forecasting can be accurately made and prediction and cash flow projections can be easily made for the next 12 months. Is it correct? Yes, basically, exactly, you are right, Satyajit. Inflation all across the globe, inflationary factors, finance cost, rising interest rate, recession. Right now, inflation plus recession plus rising interest rates plus fluctuation in exchange rates plus lot of other factors such as global supply chains and a lot of other things. Under the light of these factors, how can we be able to project, or how can we forecast for the next 12 months? No way. So that's why these days a lot of organizations are scrapping basically their annual budgeting systems, are scrapping. Exactly. Yes, Ali, you are right. Even, yeah, the culture, the taste, the lifestyle of people, their preferences, cost of living, a lot of things are changing. Yes. So even organizations are revising their strategies as well. This is a big idea. You should know that even organizations are revising their strategies. Businesses are revising strategies. Okay. So the point here is that rolling budget is the budget that continuously updated. So how does it happen? Because in the rolling budgeting, we prepare a budget for the 12 months. Okay, divide it into quarter or monthly based. So as the one section or one part is completed, we prepare the budget for the next same month or same quarter of the next period, and we update all other budgets. So advantage and disadvantages. Reduce the uncertainty of budgeting for business operating in an unstable environment. It is easier to predict what will happen in the short term. So this is the benefit of this budget, that it is suitable for uncertain environment where we can make adjustment to our budgets and our forecast. Planning and control is based on more recent plan, which is likely to be more realistic and more relevant than a fixed annual budget drawn up several months ago. This is a whole story you can understand. Okay, sorry. The process of updating the budget means that managers identify current changes and so can respond to those changes more quickly because they have shorter budgets, so they can respond quickly. More realistic targets provide a better basis on which to appraise manager performance. This is another big idea that targets are more realistic based on current conditions. So on this basis, manager performance can be appraised more effectively. Even instead of waiting for annual performance appraisal, according to the new approach, quarterly based appraisals are happening. Quarterly based appraisals of managers. Okay, realistic budgets are likely to have a better motivational effect on managers. So this is good from motivation point of view. Some problems are it requires management time, effort, money to prepare and keep updating. Managers spend too long preparing, revising budgets, they will have less time to control. So this is one criticism on this budgeting, is that it requires a lot of time on planning and managers may have little time for control. Managers may not see the value in the continuous updating of budgets, may be demotivating. So sometimes they may feel demotivation. It may be not be necessary to update budgets so regularly in a stable environment. Okay, so overall, if we look at the picture, we see that there are more advantages, there are more benefits of this approach that reflect the uncertain business environment. And here is the suitability. Accurate forecast cannot be made, for example, in a fast-moving environment. So most suitable form of budgeting for organization in an uncertain environment where future activity levels, cost, revenue cannot be accurately foreseen. So this is called continuous budget or rolling budget. There are flexible budgets. Flexible budgets are those budgets which can be adjusted according to the actual, a budget that can be adjusted to the actual activity level for comparison purpose, for variance analysis purpose. Next is called activity-based budgeting. Activity-based budgeting, before we start discussion about activity-based budgeting, first you need to understand about activity-based costing. What is activity-based costing and how it is different from the traditional costing? Traditional costing, where overheads are absorbed on the basis of a single rate. By the way, that days are also gone. Yes. Okay, yes, my dear. Traditional costing, once you might have studied about traditional absorption costing. Oh, absorption costing, my dear. You have little relevance for 21st century. Traditional absorption costing, where how cost used to be calculated, material, labor, and what? What? Material plus labor plus overhead absorption rate, overheads. And how this overheads was used to be calculated? We used to calculate overhead rate, mean total overheads divided by total activity, this overhead rate. Do you still remember? Do you still remember this old traditional method of calculating cost? So this was good idea if we were in the last 20th century, if we were yes, Satyajit, volume based. If we were living in the 90s, 70s, 1980s, 1990s, it was fine. But we are living in era of virtual economy. We are living in an era of knowledge economy. We are living in an era of information economy. Okay, knowledge. Many terms these days are used. We are living in era of knowledge, information, virtual. We are living in era of gig. We are living lots of fancy words. Okay, so under these economic systems, we need to update our costing. Requires update how we calculate cost. Okay, so one approach, activity-based costing, basically, activity-based costing it divides overheads into different activities, okay? Instead of using a single overhead rate, in activity-based costing, we divide into different activities. For example, like activity or activity drivers basis. We make cost pools, okay? We divide overheads into different cost pools, and each cost pool we identify activity, and for each activity we identify cost driver. Okay, driver are the cost causers, the reason why that cost is being incurred. For example, let's say quality control, for example. So quality control cost, what is the trigger, what is the driver for the cost, quality control cost? Okay, so this is activity-based costing, where we divide overheads into different cost pools. Then comes to activity-based budgeting. So activity-based budgeting is based on activity-based costing, basically. All right, so let's understand it. Importance of accurate estimation of cost. The rise of e-commerce. You see, I have included some details for your learning. Rise of e-commerce, globalization, and shorter product life cycles are some of the factors increasing competitive rivalry across many business sectors. Very powerful and very interesting line. Also, indirect costs are becoming indirect cost. Indirect cost mean overhead cost. Overhead cost are becoming higher percentage of total cost for many companies as technology and automation investments become more crucial to business success. Because of this, managers need a deeper and more accurate understanding of the true cost of delivering their goods and services. By the way, you should know that labor cost is becoming irrelevant now. Why? Because of the automation is causing removing labor cost or labor from the processes in so many industries. You have noticed AI, machine learning, automation, okay? These are causing or removing the labor from the processes or reducing the role of labor, reducing role of labor from processes. Even you would be amazed, even in service industries now are at the center of automation, even in service industries. Previously, we used to think that service industries are more human driven, but now automation is also underway in the service industries. A lot of service industries are becoming automated. Okay, so the point here is that under such circumstances, activity-based costing and activity-based budgeting make sense. And even there's a more customized products. Another factor you need to consider is rise of customized orders or customized products. This was not the case in the previously. There were generic products, but now there are more customized products. So what are advantages of ABB? It identifies critical success factors, which are activities that a business must perform well if it is to succeed. So one interesting advantage of ABB is that it identifies activities that must be performed well, and those activities are critical success factors. So basically, we are calculating cost of critical success factors. Wow, that is so interesting. We are calculating cost of critical success factors. Interesting. And their drivers are KPIs. Wow. Okay. Number two, recognize that activities drive cost. So encourage a focus more on controlling and managing cost drivers rather than just cost. Yes, this is another point. Control and manage critical success KPIs. Okay, control and manage KPIs rather than cost. Number three, concentrate on whole activities so that there is a more likelihood of getting it right first time. As an example, ensuring that goods are produced on time and that the dispatch manager has sufficient resources to deliver them. Okay, get it right first time. What are drawbacks? Requires time and effort to prepare, so suited to more complex organization with multiple cost drivers. Yes, if the organization is simply making simple products, then this method or ABB would be little helpful. It is more suitable for complex products and complex organizations. May be difficult to identify clear individual responsibilities for activities. Expensive to operate, yes, because you will need to need investment in the software or information systems. Okay, it will require skills and knowledge, so training to your human capital. Less useful for an organization with project-oriented operations. So my dear, this is called ABB. I hope you enjoyed and you have understood how ABB can be used. Suitability, very important, where it is suitable. ABB are only suitable for organizations which have adopted an ABC system, suitable to an organization with non-production overheads as major proportion of total cost, suitable to organization produce large portfolio of products, suitable to organization making customized products, suitable to organization with large service related overheads. ABBs are not suitable for all organizations, especially one with significant proportion of fixed overheads. Yes, that is the point. If an organization has large proportion of overheads as fixed, then ABB would be little helpful because it's more suitable where overheads are variable. That's it. Next topic is behavioral issues of traditional budgeting. It is self-reading for you. Self-reading notes. I hope you already have received this textbook, volume 1. I hope you already have received. So self-reading. And little assignment for you: aligning budgeting with strategic plan of the organization. Just try to write few paragraphs just for your own learning. Okay, how budgeting can be aligned with strategic plan, how to align budgeting with strategic plan and strategy of the organization. This, you write few paragraphs and I can tell you this will open a new world of learning for you and understanding. The more you write, the more you learn. Past paper questions are plenty of the past paper questions are included here to help you to get to know how these topics were tested and how you need to learn from the mistakes of previous students and how to follow discipline approach for the preparation. Last small topic is left, if you allow me few minutes. Budget variances and the issue of planning and controlling performance is the topic in the APM syllabus. Understanding impact of controllable and uncontrollable factors on planning and controlling activities. So, my dear, in the context of the budgeting at APM level, there are two types of variances that you need to understand. These are related to planning and controlling. We call these as planning and operational variances. So, my dear, before we close the class, let's have a quick look at planning and operational variances. Our planning variance occur from changes in factors external. Basically, a variance, I can write it down for you. Okay, got it. So what are the planning variances? Planning variance occurs from changes in external factors or external environment that are supposed to be the beyond the control of the management, means that management cannot control. So overall, the planning variance is beyond the control of the management. Management cannot control a planning variance. So when they can't control, they will not be appraised. They will not be held responsible for planning variance and should not be impacting their rewards and appraisal. Reward and appraisal. This variance should not be used as part of their appraisal process. Next is operational variance. This is a more controllable variance. Controls. This variance relates to controls. This variance relates to planning. Exam question can ask you this statement: planning and control. Some variances will arise due to factors that are almost or entirely within the control of the management. These are referred to as operational variances. Operational variances are considered within the control as they arise from operational decisions. So managers are held responsible for these variances. Managers held responsible for these variances and used in appraisal process. And appraisal process is based on these variances. Now, there are formulas how to calculate, how to measure. So our planning variance formula is original budget minus revised budget. Okay, original budget minus revised budget. That is the formula for planning variance. And operational variance formula is revised budget minus actual results. So this is the how to measure both planning and operational variances, and that's it from our budgeting topic. Here are questions from the past papers that you can get through. And here is a small topic: increased use of non-traditional profit-based performance measures in controlling organization like beyond budgeting. So that's it from this chapter. Number 1 is done. Chapter number 1 is done. Time is up. Time is finished. So hopefully in the next class, we can do a practice question. Okay, hopefully on budgeting, and plus starting chapter number 2, business structure changes and management accounting. All right, my dear, that's it from our today class. I hope you enjoyed this class. I hope this class would help you understand this amazing paper better and prepare how to prepare it. Means you would be now in a position to understand how you need to prepare for this paper. I already told you in the start of the class, you need to follow a disciplined approach. So my dear, it's up to you how you schedule your time for preparation. All right. You have not received, I think this is available on the portal, Grishma. You need to check at the portal. It should be available there, or otherwise, please drop a message to the coordinator. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, my dear, thank you very much for joining today's class, and thank you very much for all your amazing participation. Keep participating like this, and interaction and asking questions. So looking forward to see you on next Sunday with new knowledge, new learning, new models, new discussions, new examples, new theories. Okay, till then, it's time to say goodbye. Take care of you, your families, and beautiful Mauritius. Bye.